Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Once hailed as MotoGP's next superstar, Pedro Acosta finds himself in a stark reality check midway through 2025. A difficult rookie year behind him, the young Spaniard acknowledges both KTM's current limitations and the singular path to true title contention, riding what Márquez rides. In a candid interview, Acosta unpacks his struggles, ambitions, and the shifting market forces shaping his future. A notable gap in Ducati's Saxony ring setup will leave fans and the paddock asking why Gigi Dall'Igna, Ducati Corse's general manager and chief architect of the Desmosedici GP25, will be absent from the German GP. In his place, Ricardo Savon, Ducati's MotoGP project director, will assume pit wall duties, marking a rare shift in the factory's leadership lineup. As speculation swirls around the future of Tech 3 in MotoGP, team principal Jorge Poncharal has moved to set the record straight. Amid whispers of a 2026 switch to Honda, Poncharal insists the team remains loyal to KTM, at least for now. In an interview with GP1, he outlines the team's current commitment, Dorna's contingency plans, and the impact of KTM's internal shakeups. The conflict between Jorge Martin and Aprilia has escalated beyond internal tension, inching closer to the courtroom. But Aprilia CEO Massimo Rivola remains defiant. In a bold statement, Rivola draws on MotoGP history to suggest that even fractured rider-team relationships can still win championships. With Martin pushing to activate an exit clause, and Aprilia denying its validity, the battle off-track may soon become more intense than anything on it. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Acosta refuses to label 2024 a wasted season. Instead, he sees it as essential learning, yet stresses that this year demanded a step up from mere survival to genuine competition. I wouldn't say that last year was a lost year. It was a year of experience. But both the factory and I had a different objective this year. It's no longer just about winning, but about fighting. Acosta's statement. That fighting spirit has faltered amid KTM's crisis. Arm surgery and two brutal preseason crashes compounded by a bike that can't match Ducati's pace have left Acosta stranded outside the fight. Despite intense loyalty to KTM, the brand he's raced since Moto3, Acosta draws a line. Results this season will dictate his future. I have a contract with KTM. I want to do good races. First I have to have a better bike and do well now, not 2 years from now. Acosta's blunt timeline speaks volumes. He needs immediate performance gains or risk becoming a mercenary in the 2026 market, because young talents with his CV rarely stay put. In unvarnished terms, Acosta pinpoints where KTM stands, outgunned against a full factory Ducati program that puts Marc Márquez on a pedestal. The only bike that's fit to compete with Marc Márquez is riding the same as him, a Ducati. Across circuits and conditions, Ducati's relentless consistency has built a gulf. Aprilia, Yamaha, KTM, and Honda each flash form, but only Ducati delivers unwavering performance lap after lap. Turning to the explosive Martin Aprilia saga, and recalling Jorge's 10 days hospitalized in Qatar, Acosta urges empathy from the paddock. We mustn't forget Martin spent 10 days in hospital. It seems we all want to give opinions, but we must also put ourselves in Jorge's shoes. Here's a rider who's navigated pain and uncertainty, both personal and contractual. Acosta's call for compassion underscores the emotional toll of elite racing. With contracts unraveling, Acosta predicts a domino effect. One star's move will send ripples through every seat on the grid. I don't think there will be a massive change, but if Martin moves, there are already changes, and others will try to get better opportunities. In the paddock's annual game of musical chairs, every shift, from Aprilia to Ducati, KTM to Honda, reshapes alliances and ambitions. Acosta remains both spectator and key player. Pedro Acosta's wake-up call blends brutal honesty with fierce ambition. He sings KTM's praises but won't romanticize its shortcomings, and points squarely at Ducati as the benchmark for true championship contention. As the market churns and contracts fray, Acosta's next moves, backed by immediate performance, will determine whether he remains KTM's flagship or ascends to that red and white mantle alongside Márquez. Just weeks after guiding Ducati through a dominant mid-season run, Dall'Igna cited undisclosed personal matters for missing the Sachsenring round. His absence breaks an unbroken streak of race attendances stretching back to his 2013 arrival. Personal reasons will be the reason why Dall'Igna will not be present at the Sachsenring circuit next weekend. In a sport where continuity at the top often underpins success, Dall'Igna's sudden leave is highly unusual. Yet Ducati's depth in management ensures there is a plan B to maintain momentum with Marc Márquez and Pecco Bagnaia. Filling Dall'Igna's role for the weekend is Ricardo Savon, a seasoned engineer who now helms the MotoGP project. Savin's selection underscores Ducati's confidence in his ability to manage strategy, setup, and rider communication under the intense GP pressure. Savin's pit wall debut at Sachsenring places him under the spotlight. As project director, he's responsible for Ducati's race weekend execution, an ideal proving ground for his leadership credentials. Born in Padua, Savon cut his teeth at Aprilia Racing as head of vehicle dynamics in 2011 before joining Ducati in late 2013, just as the Desmosedici saga and Marc Márquez's MotoGP career converged. Savin's technical pedigree, shaped by nearly a decade in Ducati's R&D and race programs, positions him ideally to manage both engineering directives and the real-time demands of race management. Sachsenring's tight layout and technical corners demand flawless bike setup. Savon faces the dual task of sustaining Márquez's championship charge and reviving Bagnaia's faltering form on the identical Desmosedici. Seeing how Marc consolidates his position as leader, and Pecco sinking, having difficulties getting on the podium with the same bike, Savon must navigate strategic tire choices, race pace simulations, and intra-team dynamics. His decisions this weekend could stall or accelerate Ducati's 2025 title push. While Dall'Igna's tenure shows no sign of ending, placing Savon's center stage hints at Ducati grooming its next technical chief. 8 seasons under Dall'Igna have set a high bar, but Savin's performance here will be closely watched. We could be facing one of the clues as to who will be Dall'Igna's successor in the future. The MotoGP paddock never stops analyzing succession plans. Savin's Sachsenring Crucible offers his first major audition for a role many believe he's being primed to assume. Dall'Igna's unexpected leave of absence shakes up Ducati's Saxony Ring weekend, but the seamless handover to Ricardo Savon underscores the factory's organizational strength. As Márquez chases victory and Bagnaia seeks redemption, Savin's call on strategy and setup will shape more than just this race. It may chart the course for Ducati's technical leadership in seasons to come. At the heart of Poncharal's rebuttal lies a binding agreement. Tech 3 is contractually tied to KTM until 2026, leaving no room for premature exits. I strongly disagree with whoever writes that Tech 3 already has an agreement with Honda. If we can continue with KTM under a good deal, that is our top priority. Poncharal statement. While the MotoGP paddock buzzes with rumors, Poncharal pulls rank and reinforces Tech 3's commitment to KTM, shutting down talk of a switch to HRC in 2026. Despite Tech 3's current allegiance, Poncharal acknowledges that Dorna's CEO Carmelo Ezpeleta is preparing alternatives in case KTM steps back post-2026. If KTM doesn't continue, Dorna may advance Honda's second customer team plans to 2026. HRC's long-term goal of fielding a second satellite team alongside LCR may come sooner than expected. Tech 3, known for nurturing young talent, could fit into that framework, especially with its Moto3 structure already in place. One of the bigger surprises in KTM's internal turmoil is the departure of engine guru Kurt Trieb. Poncharal praised Trieb's contributions and hinted at potential interest from Honda. When I heard the news, I was shocked. Kurt is brilliant and humble. I wouldn't be surprised if HRC tries to hire him. With KTM's RC16 engine long hailed as a powerhouse, even by Ducati standards, Treeb's exit leaves a void that rivals like Honda, desperate to fix their power deficit, may try to exploit. Looking ahead to Sachsenring, Poncharal remains cautiously optimistic. Despite Tech 3's struggles at the venue last year, Maverick Vinales' form since Doha gives the team hope for a top 5 finish, maybe more. We're going to Germany to fight for the top 5, but the podium is our real goal. While KTM's overall form remains volatile, Vinales' resurgence and improvements in bike performance keep the Tech 3 garage motivated. Expectations are high for a breakthrough weekend. The elephant in the room is KTM's future past 2026. Poncharal's loyalty to the Austrian brand is unwavering, but the uncertainty about a new 5-year deal, 2027 to 2031, leaves questions unanswered. We'll see if KTM commits for the 5-year period from 2027 to 2031. As MotoGP's landscape continues to shift, with Liberty Media entering and team slots becoming prized assets, Tech 3 must balance loyalty with strategic foresight. Hervé Poncharal's message is clear. Tech 3 remains committed to KTM, but the door isn't shut on other opportunities, especially if uncertainty grows within the Austrian camp. With Dorna drawing up contingency plans and Honda looking to expand its footprint, the battle for Tech 3's future is shaping up to be just as fierce as anything on track. Jorge Martin, who joined Aprilia as the reigning 2024 MotoGP World Champion, now wants out, citing a performance-based escape clause. Aprilia counters that his prolonged injury absence voids that clause, locking him in through 2026. Martin's manager, Albert Valera, claims the rider is free, while Aprilia threatens legal action. It's not a comfortable situation, but we got him for good reasons. We still believe in the performance. Rivola's statement. What began as a dream signing is now in legal limbo. Martin's injury-marred 2025 season has become the central argument in a high-stakes contract tug-of-war. Rather than denying the tension, Rivola embraces the awkward truth. MotoGP riders have historically succeeded despite sour relationships. In the past, we saw riders unhappy about the company or boss that still fought for the world title. Aprilia points to history, like Lorenzo in 2016 with Yamaha and Rossi in 2003 with Honda, as proof that a toxic dynamic doesn't always kill performance. Whether that logic applies in 2025 remains to be seen. The disagreement has now entered legal territory. While Martin eyes a 2026 move, with Honda rumored as a top option, Aprilia is ready to defend its contractual position in court. As much as Rivola wants to reconcile, Aprilia won't hesitate to litigate. The message is clear: if Martin wants out, it won't come cheap or easy. In a moment of levity, Rivola downplays the conflict's emotional weight. Let's see. Luckily we don't have children. Despite the intensity, Rivola keeps his tone light, suggesting a hope, however faint, for reconciliation. MotoGP has seen this movie before. Riders in broken relationships, Rossi, Lorenzo, Vinales, often leave, even mid-contract. Aprilia may hope for a fairy tale ending, but precedent suggests Martin's exit may be a matter of time. Even if Martin stays in 2026, the shadow of this dispute could shape the rest of his Aprilia journey, or end it early. As Aprilia clings to its star signing and Martin pushes for freedom, the situation teeters between salvageable tension and irreversible split. With both sides lawyering up, and the MotoGP paddock watching closely, the outcome of this contractual Cold War may redefine not just Martin's future, but how team rider disputes are handled in MotoGP's new era. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!